This is more than a trek. It's a journey around a mountain, said to touch the divine. Revealed by Buddhists, Hindus, Jains and Bon alike. Mount Kailash, remote, sacred, untouched. Over 3 days, I walked 50 kilometers around its base through wind and snow, silent and stone, ascending passes, crossing valleys, and letting the mountains speak in ways only the heart can understand. This is the Kailash Kora, a path of endurance, reverence, and quiet awakening. Come, walk it with me. 7:15, here we go. Friends from Germany and Switzerland. Tibetan guide, strong. Endless road, nothing in front. Long and unwinding road. Actually, the first 7 kilometers, we have the option to take the tourist bus and test the road. That might be where the Jingfang Guanchang is that marks the end of first 7 kilometers. Almost there. I believe that's the entrance to the Jingfang Guanchang. (8:45) here at the base of Mount Kailash. This square, Jingfang Guanchang, feels like a moment held in prayer. Thousands of flags flutter, with one a wish, a memory, a letting go. Started at 7:15 this morning. I have covered the first 7 kilometers out of the 20 kilometers for day 1. Arrived at the Jingfang Guanchang, Prayer Flags Square, which is located just behind me. Downslope now. These are the porters that some of the tour members hire to carry majority of their stuff. Focus, determination. (10:45). No sight of the lunch point yet. 11 o'clock. I really need to take a break and replenish my electrolytes. Energy is running low. Eleven 35. 11:30. I have arrived at the guest house, stopping over for lunch. This should mark about 14 kilometers and another 7 kilometers to the guest house to rest for the night. 1 p.m. I have rested at this tea house for the last 1.5 hours. We have the last 5 kilometers to go, so I'm going to take it slow, and we are well ahead of time. That's Mount Kailash. I believe it's west face. That's the way. You see that? I believe this is Dirapuk Monastery or Dzultripuk. That's the accommodation guest house for tonight. Time now 2:10. Mount Kailash should be the northern face. This is our room for the night. Good morning, 7:30. The sun should rise shortly. Look at the beautiful scenery of the snow mountains. This was where we came from yesterday. Let me show you how the whole setup of the guest house looks like. So to the left, there's a couple of tea house, and there's beds inside. This is where we stayed last night. And there's also the guest houses and tea house along this stretch. In the peak season, all these places will be fully filled. Tourists who are not physically attuned to hike at this high altitude, sometimes they do hire the horses and its guide, which costs about 900 RMB per day. This is where Mount Kailash North Face is located, and there's actually a track where we can walk all the way up to get closer. That's where we're going to head, the road to the monastery. That's where we are heading to cross the bridge. Somewhere beneath these snows lies the pulse of the mountain. It's cold, quiet, yet deeply alive.
Here in the shadow of Kailash, you don't just see the sacred, you feel it in your breath, your heartbeat, your stillness. This place doesn't need words, only presence. We are almost there to the Dirapuk Monastery. Dirapuk Monastery, few hundred meters more. We are now taking a shortcut, walking across the river, which is frozen. The weather is clearing up. I'm going to start hiking up to the point and get nearer to Mount Kailash. Almost there. I'm going to try to walk into the glacier and take a better shot. Mount Kailash, north face. I'm going to walk further up a little and see how far I can take it. A little more to go. PM. I've been trekking upwards for the last 2 hours and finally see the full face of Kailash, northern face. I think it's time to trek downwards. 5:40. We took 40 minutes to descend. Good job. 7 May, 7 AM. Today begins the hardest stretch of the Kora, a long ascent towards Dolma Pass, where altitude, silence and spirit all rise together. It's not just a hike. I believe it's a test of will, breath and quiet determinations. That's where we have to ascend to. $7:45. I just passed the first ascent, making my way to the first tea house. That should be the first tea house to take a break. 8 o'clock. 5,270 meters, minus 7 degrees, light snow. Arrive at first tea house after ascending for the past 1 hour. At 8:45, we will continue our trek for the next 4 kilometers. Mount Kailash. That should be where the sky barrier site is. That's where we came from. Still some distance to go. Long road ahead. I don't even want to talk now. Most of the time, I'm just looking down, focusing on each steps and not think about the destination. 9:20, 5,420 meters, approximately minus 4 degrees, snowing lightly. We have already passed the sky barrier site. The rocky path, that's where we are heading to. That's where we are heading. 10 o'clock, 5,520 meters, minus 4 degrees. A bit more to go. Almost there. A little bit more. Let's go. That is where I came from. Respect. Almost there. Focus. The last mile. Dolma Pass. The spiritual summit of the Kailash Kora. At 5,630 meters, the air is thin, but the energy is full. It's here that the old burdens are symbolically left behind, and the journey begins anew. This isn't just the highest point, it's a place of release, of surrender, and silent transformation. 11 a.m. I have rested 30 minutes here. I'm going to start descending and we'll cover 6 kilometers to reach the lunch point. Below the pass lies Mercy Lake, known to many as Dirapuk. They say the goddess herself bathed here, and it is cold glacial waters. There's a sense of gentleness, as if compassion pulls where breath is most shallow. a reminder that grace exists even in the hardest places. It's the path we're going to take to descend. Trekking with a dog. Just came down from the descent. That's where I'm going to go to. Alright. I'm going to put on the crampons as I'm going to walk through the glacier. O'clock, still descending. That should be the track. I think that's the lunch point. Almost there. (12:15) lunch point. Yay! Now doing the last 12 kilometers for today, and we'll reach a monastery guest house. A group of yaks over there must be hired. Look, it's that yak dog again. Fated. Ah, so cute. Lovely. Yak groups. (3 p.m. Endless road ahead. PM. Still walking. I did not stop at the guest house. Pushing on. That's where we are heading and staying for the night. (4:05). We made it!
Yeah.
Yeah! After hours across stones and skies, we arrived at Dzultripuk Monastery, a place of retreat and quiet reflection. Built near the cave where Milarepa meditated, it feels like a shelter not just from the wind, but also from all the noise we carry within. Here, we rest, but also prepare for the final steps of the Kora tomorrow. 8th May is the final day of the Kailash Kora. We will begin with a quiet visit to Dzultripuk Monastery, a place of retreat and reflection, before walking the last 12 kilometers back to Darchen. The hardest parts are behind us, but the meaning, I feel, is still unfolding with each step forward. The last 12 kilometers begins now. long road ahead. Push on. That's where I came from. I've been trekking for the last 1 hour 15 minutes, and that's where we're going to head to. That will be the last tea house that we will be stopping over before we continue our journey to arrive at Darchen town where we first started. 10:10, stopping over at this last tea house before I push on to the final 6 kilometers. 11:15, the final push for the last 6 kilometers. The final stretch back to the hotel. 50 kilometers, 3 days, through altitude, silence and sacred space. We have completed the Kailash Kora, but this finish line isn't an end, it's a return. We walk past this point with gratitude, not for what we endure, but for what we have been allowed to witness. The mountain remains. We move on, lighter, quieter, change.